what happened to our country. Probably 20 million people. And you know, that's a little bit...
He's going down!
Stay over here. He's on top of the roof. Don't go over there. He's on the roof, buddy.
He's dead. I just seen his hair go up. They shot him in the head. He's dead. Oh.
Well, if they hit anybody over there.
Did he pull up a shot?
He number of shots.
I thought that was us.
No, that was him. The first two shots were him.
Draws my fucking tooth. This is cool. Let's go.
He's on the roof right there. He's right there on the roof. That's on the other side of the I believe the activist dispatched on much more.
Part of what that video highlights is that prior to the shooting, there were people just outside the security cordon at that event who saw someone on top of the building, someone who appears to have been the shooter, and were attempting to warn police about it before those shots were fired. Then, of course, in that video here, when the shots are fired, and those same people witnessing when the shooter was taken out. From there, we go to another angle. This shows a different angle, but a revealing perspective. What you're looking at here appears to be Secret Service counter snipers on a roof of the building just behind where Donald Trump was speaking. And you can see them reacting to something off camera. In fact, the sniper's gun, the weapon, jerks upward right there at the moment of the first shots, and then you see them firing their weapons as those Secret Service members rushed onto the stage to bring the former president, push him to the ground for safety. Of course, this moments after they were hit. The point of showing that video there is it appears that the counter snipers were at least looking in the direction of the shooter prior to the shots being fired. Retired FBI agent, CNN law enforcement contributor Steve Moore joins me now. And Steve, it's good to have you on. You've been in law enforcement. I've covered law enforcement for years. I'm always very conscious of not jumping to conclusions. Counterterror, you only know about their failures. You don't know about their successes. Similar with the Secret Service. They are dealing with constant threats all the time. They snuff out threats more times than we know. But here, given your experience, I wonder what failures you see here. And particularly when we look at that most recent video, did it look to you like the counter snipers might have had eyes on the shooter prior?
Well, if they did, they didn't have eyes on him for very long. From what I'm seeing on their reactions, it looked to me that they probably, within a second or two, engaged that shooter. So I think you're right, Jim. I think they had turned their attention to him, maybe because of some yelling. I mean, you've got Secret Service all around. You've got other people on the frequency who can say, hey, people are shouting about a guy with a gun, in quadrant so-and-so. They don't just say, over to your left or over to your right. They've got that entire area gridded out. So they might say, Area 5 or G2 or whatever. And so they were turning their attention to him. What I don't know is whether the building that he was on had a lip around the edge, which might have concealed him until he fired the weapons. And so I don't see the problem necessarily with the counter snipers. What I'm concerned about and what's I think going to have to really be looked into is the vertical view of the thing. I mean, we've got drones at Costco now. You have airplanes available. Why did you not have a vertical eye on that entire area?
Yeah. The distance here, and I think we can throw up the map again that showed the stage relative to that rooftop where the shooter was firing from. What you see there is, and you get a sense of what was inside the security cordon where you would have had to pass through the metal detectors. A number of folks who were in the crowd said that, yes, they had to pass through magnetometers before they entered the immediate area, but that location of the suspected gunman's position was outside that area. Typically, with events like this, what kind of security is there outside the cordon? Is it just looking for potential threats? If you're not screening people for weapons outside there, I imagine you certainly focus attention on high points, including rooftops.
You would think so, Jim. And, you know, before it comes across that I'm criticizing Secret Service, you know, they have to be right every single time.
Yep.
The bad guys only have to be right once, or lucky once. So you have your inner perimeter, your mid perimeter, and your outer perimeter. The outer perimeter in this case would be anything that wasn't in the security zone, in the screen zone. That is frequently an area picked up by local police who are assisting, as you've heard many times during this evening. Local police assist in each one of these things and provide valuable services to the Secret Service. So that would likely have been an area given over to local police. But I'm not sure that it was an appropriate distance to be out. I was a counter sniper for 2 years, and I'm telling you, if that was 100 to 150 yards, which is what it looks like, it's not actually a gimme, but it's close. I mean, that is, if you have somebody trained, that is much too close to have high ground occupied by the bad guy.
Yeah, I mean, listen, when we speak of close, listen, a bullet grazed the ear of the former president, current candidate for president, and multiple shots were fired. This is extremely close to an even far worse outcome. I did want to ask a question because